When it comes to fountains and aeration, there can be a lot of unknowns and questions to be answered. Today we're going to go over some of the most common questions that we receive.
What is the biggest misconception pond owners have about fountains?
The biggest misconception that homeowners have about fountains is that installing a fountain will eliminate growth. While it is true that a fountain will help circulate water and that can make conditions less favorable for growth, there's really nothing about a fountain that's actually going to be actively taking care of algae or weed growth.
Is it possible to over-aerate a pond?
Yeah, it's possible to over-aerate a pond. More commonly what we see is under-aeration, but if you oversize an aeration system, you can create too much circulation. You can actually stir up bottom muck and constantly suspend that into the water, which can put nutrients in the water for algae blooms. So yeah, you want to be particular when sizing an aeration system, whether that's a surface aeration system or a diffused aeration system. You want to get something that's sized right for your pond, and it may be best to approach a professional to size that system up right.
What is the most common mistake people make when sizing a fountain or an aerator?
Okay, one of the most common mistakes that people will make when buying a fountain or an aerator is to actually undersize the system. Whether that's just from not knowing exactly how big their pond is, or maybe trying to stay to the lower end of a budget, which is certainly understandable, but you really want to make sure that you size the system up to your pond aesthetically so that it looks like it fits in, especially with a fountain, or really consider the size, shape, and depth of your pond if you're talking about a diffused aeration system, to make sure you get that system sized where it's going to give you just the right amount of aeration.
At what depth does a decorative fountain stop being effective for aeration?
Okay, a decorative fountain really is not the correct choice for aeration at all. When it comes to something at the surface level, a decorative fountain is going to be pretty and give you a great aesthetic, but if you're looking for aeration, something like a surface aerator, not as pretty. A lot more focus on water flow is what you're looking for. If you're looking to aerate a pond that's deeper, then you might be looking at also a diffused aeration system to help drive the oxygen levels down deeper into the water, but it really depends on your pond, your particular situation, and what you're looking to get out of an aerator.
Can proper aeration help my fish growth?
Yeah, the answer is yes. Proper aeration can fuel fish metabolism and increase fish activity, which means they're going to feed better. If they're feeding better, they're also going to grow quicker in response to that. So yeah, the answer is aeration can definitely support fish growth.
Do I need professional installation, or can I do it myself?
Professional installation is always a good idea. May not always be necessary. It's really dependent on the size of the pond, ease of access, what equipment you may have to do the install yourself. If you feel like you're lacking in access or equipment, it's definitely a good idea to go ahead with professional installation. One thing to make sure you do consider though is that the electrical for the system should always be installed by a certified electrician. Beyond that, you can kind of decide if the system is handleable or if you need to pass the installation along to a professional.
What is an aspect of aeration nobody thinks about?
Definitely maintenance and repair. Everybody thinks about the upfront cost of getting a fountain or an aeration system installed, but systems that we install, electrical systems, are going into aquatic systems. It's not exactly the most preferred environment for equipment to be in, so you definitely want to make sure to consider the ongoing maintenance that'll be needed to keep your system running effectively for the longest life possible, and repairs do come up. Sometimes they can be untimely, so it's good to be prepared. Maybe have a little money set aside for a repair if it comes up, if you can do it, but that's definitely gets overlooked more often than probably just about anything else I can think of.
Can I leave my aerator running during the winter?
Okay, yeah, it's kind of a two-part answer. If you have a fountain or a surface aerator, something that's at the surface level of the pond where it has a chance to ice up, definitely needs to be pulled out for the winter, stored away, and then you can put that unit back in the spring. If you have a diffused aeration system though, the in-water portion of that system sits at the bottom of the lake where you're not going to encounter freezing, so that system can be left in. The choice then really to run it or not run it becomes the question, and there's some personal preferences with that, but surface aerators should definitely be pulled out for winter. Diffused aeration systems, the diffuser heads can be left in the water.
Is it safe to swim in my pond while a fountain or aerator is running?
The best answer for that question is, if you know you're going to have people in the water, definitely shut the system down. While all the systems that we sell do have GFI protection in place, it's best to go ahead and shut that system down. There's no use taking any risks that are unneeded.
Is constantly running a fountain or an aerator going to hike my electric bill?
Running a fountain or an aerator is definitely going to increase your electrical usage and therefore your electrical bill. Can be a wide range of cost depending on your exact application, pond size, unit size. Could be as little as $30 a month. You know, you could get up to a cost of $400 a month if you have a large system that's running non-stop. So again, the answer is there's a lot of variability, but yes, of course, the more you run the system, the more electrical cost you'll have.
Is there a way to try out a fountain before I commit to buying one?
We get this question quite a bit. A lot of times the answer ends up being no, but there's a lot of things that you can look at, references as far as pictures that you can access or videos that you can access. Possibility of maybe getting a look at another unit that's already in place and running, maybe local to you. We also do have a rental program available. It might not be the exact unit that you would want, pattern-wise or size-wise, but you could choose to do a short-term rental on one of the fountains that we do have to see if you like that, and then use that in consideration for your purchase.
What is the difference between a fountain and an aerator?
The difference, well, we get this question quite a bit. The main difference between a fountain and a surface aerator, at least, is that a fountain is aimed at being more decorative, aesthetically appealing. It's going to have fancier spray patterns, smaller droplet sizes that impact the water, whereas a surface aerator is going to be high volume, high flow, heavy water impact. That's what's going to get oxygen into your water. On the aeration side, if you're talking diffused aeration, that's considerably different. Instead of having an electrical motor pushing water, you'll actually be pushing air with a compressor on shore, diffusing that air at the bottom of the lake. Its main purpose is to redistribute oxygen from the surface to the bottom throughout the water column.
How do I find out what size system I need?
When sizing a fountain, specifically a fountain, a good size rule of thumb is about 2 horsepower per surface acre. Surface aerators usually run more about 1 horsepower per surface acre. If you're looking at diffused aeration, definitely seek some professional help with sizing, but otherwise you can kind of stick to that 2 horsepower per acre suggestion for a fountain and go from there. Yeah, when considering a purchase for a fountain, we also have a soft quote feature that you can utilize. It's available on our website. It asks for a few simple questions that need to be answered, the size of your pond, that type of thing, and then we actually have it set up to where it will give you a recommended system based on your answers. I would definitely recommend checking that out, use that, and that could be very helpful as well.
Do I need to run my aerator 24/7?
It's another good question. With a fountain or a surface aerator, it's not necessary to run the unit 24/7. Just keep in mind that if you're not running the unit, you're not getting the aesthetic benefit, obviously, but you're also not getting the aeration that you could get out of it as well. In order to get the aeration benefit, you need to be running the unit. So the more you run it, the better as far as aeration concerned. Looking or thinking about a diffused aeration system, it's a lot more important to run that system 24/7. You're really redistributing oxygen throughout the water column top to bottom with a diffused aeration system, and you want to make sure you maintain that system running so that you can keep thermal layering disrupted. That'll allow oxygen to be able to be transferred top to bottom through the water column. So just remember that with diffused aeration system. Surface aeration or fountain, it's more optional. Those units come with timers. You can choose to run that unit when you want. If you have any additional questions that we didn't go over today, go ahead and reach out to us by phone, check out our website, or go ahead and comment below.